What if the most feared being in the galaxy met the last surviving human? And what if what she discovered made even her afraid? Tonight, we dive into the encounter that changed the fate of the universe forever. In the farthest corner of the Orion Arm, where stars are born and die in the same breath, the Xerath Dominion reigned supreme. For 1,000 years, their empire stretched across galaxies, feeding on the genetic essence of conquered races. Their ruler, Queen Xerath, was a living god, cold, calculating, eternal. Yet on this night, she dreamed of Earth, the forbidden world, the world her ancestors had burned to ash. When she woke, her chamber trembled, her neural implants humming with an ancient signal pulsing from that dead planet. Earth was calling. Ominous hum. Her generals dismissed it as a ghost frequency, but Xerath felt something deeper, something familiar. Within hours, her flagship, the Mother of Silence, tore through the void toward Sol. As the stars blurred into light, Xerath stood before the viewing glass, remembering the stories, how humanity had risen faster than any species, how they had built machines that thought, cities that floated, and weapons that could crack moons, and how, when the Xerath first invaded, humanity laughed, not because they were fearless, but because they understood something no empire ever did. Fear works both ways.
The Queen's ship descended through black clouds over a ruined Earth. Storms raged where oceans once shimmered. The land was cracked, lifeless. Yet deep under the dust, sensors detected movement. Xerath led the descent personally, stepping through the thunder, her armor alive with tendrils of liquid metal. When she reached the crater, she saw a figure waiting. Human, alive, standing alone amid fire and ruin. The Queen's guards surrounded him instantly. "Identify yourself," they demanded. The man only smiled. "I am Elias Ward, and you are late." His voice was steady, almost bored, like someone expecting this moment his entire life. Xerath scanned him. Human DNA, yet modified far beyond anything she knew. His heart rate didn't change, even under her psychic pressure. He looked at her, not as prey, but as an equal. Xerath stepped forward, towering above him. "You should not exist," she hissed. Elias smiled faintly. "We never stopped existing. You just stopped looking." The words unsettled her. Behind them, the storm grew louder, as though the planet itself was listening. Xerath gestured, and her soldiers restrained him. But when they touched his skin, their armor convulsed. A flash of light erupted, then silence. Both guards were gone, vaporized.
Xerath recoiled, her armor rippling. "What are you?" Elias raised his head. "You already know." His eyes flickered silver, and her armor responded, tendrils curling, twitching toward him. "It remembers me," he whispered. "All of it." Xerath froze. Her empire's biotechnology was fused with genetic material from ancient species they had harvested over centuries. The oldest of those species were human. She had worn their DNA as armor, powered her ships with their essence, and never realized it. Elias took a slow breath. "You didn't destroy us, Queen. You just made us part of you." Soft static rising, the ship's systems began to fail one by one. Across orbit, entire fleets convulsed. The biomachines were awakening, responding to a signal buried deep within their code. A human code. Alarms wailed as engines died. Xerath shouted commands, but her soldiers were screaming, mutating, their armor turning against them. Through psychic link, she saw entire squadrons tearing themselves apart. Contain it, she cried. But it was too late. The oldest species that had been harvested to fuel the Corinne Empire were back and in control.
Intense rising music. Suddenly the clouds tore apart. A fleet of smaller ships appeared. Old-world aircraft, human-made, their hulls bearing faded flags. Among them, the insignia of Pakistan's Air Command glimmered through the dust. "Impossible," Corinne whispered. Elias smiled. They remembered too. The human survivors, descendants of hidden colonies, had returned. Sleek fighters moved like ghosts, dodging plasma fire with impossible precision. Corinne watched in disbelief as the Xerath Armada was pushed back by ancient human aircraft, weapons glowing with stolen alien tech. "They can't win," she murmured. Elias turned to her. "They already did. You just never saw how."
Years passed. The universe changed. From the ruins of the Xerath Empire, a new alliance was born. Humans and hybrids living side by side, guided by the memory of what they once were. The legend of the queen who remembered her humanity spread across galaxies. Some called her savior, others traitor. But she no longer cared. She had seen what fear could build and what understanding could heal. One night, under the twin moons of a restored Earth, Corinne stood beside a monument bearing both human and Xerath symbols. She whispered, "We were never enemies. We were always pieces of the same creation." A faint voice answered from behind her. It was Elias. "You finally believe it?" She nodded. "I saw the truth." He smiled softly. "Then you're ready for what comes next." In the darkness beyond the stars, another signal began to pulse. Different. Older. Colder. Something else had been listening all along. Elias looked up. His eyes glowed faintly. "They're waking up." Corinne turned to him. "Who?" He answered quietly, "The first architects." The sky trembled, the stars flickered, and for the first time in 1,000 years, the queen felt something she had not known since the war began. Hope. Because humanity had returned. And the galaxy would never be the same again.